Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Estate Right Now, where we talk about real estate matters that matter to you. Oh, we have an outstanding show. We got a brand new guest, first time ever. I love it when we get somebody new in the hot seat. It's really not that hot. I just want to tell you that right now. The lights are hot. I will tell you that, but it's the hot seat. His name is Doug Schoonmaker, and I want to tell you something about Doug. Doug is the vice president of mortgage lending at First Community. United Community Bank. Sorry, I had first in my brain because you're number one in my heart. That's right. Whatever. Yeah. Jay, just go with that. Just roll with that with me. That'd be great. And I talked about that. I had this song in my head, Doug, and the song was "Should I Stay or Should I Go?" Oh, that's a good. Do you remember the song? Yeah, Should I Stay or Should I Go? I'm not going to sing it, and please, you don't do that either because that's not a good idea. And so, but I was thinking about should I buy or should I not? And should I sell or should I not? And that song was ringing through it, which is why I titled the show the way I did. And then I was like, the market's in a different place. And so, people are always out there and they're kind of going, what is the market? What's going to happen in the market? So if you could just briefly, and I know we didn't talk about this pre-show, but if you could briefly kind of give your synopsis of where we're at in the market right now. Kind of what you're seeing right now. In the what are we seeing right now?
Essentially, yes, it has slowed down. Rates are higher, over the past 6 months to a year, more than double than they were then. Mortgage bond market's still struggling, super volatile, but, I view it as an opportunity to get into the marketplace right now. There's not as much competition out there, for buyers to get in. That due diligence money is not quite as high as it used to be. So you can actually negotiate just a little bit. Prices are still staying stable, but there is a little bit of negotiation there. And we live in just such a great area that people are continuing to be drawn to. I see no downside to it.
Now, I should have asked you this up front, and so that people know this about you. You've been in this business for how long?
Since 1999. So 23 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of another great song. It was 1999. It was another great tune by Prince. God rest his soul. But yeah, it was another great tune. That was so 1999.
Yeah, and been in this market here in Raleigh proper for 22 of those.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. So in your 22 years of doing mortgage lending, do you have anything comparable to the market that we're seeing right now from the course of the last year and a half?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely unique. It's definitely not exactly like any other time. No time is exactly like any other time. Right. But when I got into this market or into this industry, 23 years ago, rates were at 8%, 8.5%. That's what we were selling. We were selling 30-year fixed and 3-year ARMs and 2-year ARMs and things of that nature.
So I know you kind of alluded to it up front in your intro, which I kind of led you wrong, but that's not your fault. That's my fault. So I guess in line with the musical theme of should I stay or should I go, or should I buy or should I not buy?
Yeah.
Is this a good time to buy?
Buy, start, create your wealth now, create your legacy now. Rates are higher. So yes, that will hurt affordability a little bit, but we have so many different avenues. And I'm lucky enough to have different programs to help with that affordability. Okay. So definitely without doubt.
So you're really confident about this. You're like really, really, I'm looking in your eyes and like, oh, you're really confident about buy. It's really good time to buy. Because it's a natural thing, right? Listen, you talk to a real estate person, right? Real estate professional, and somebody say, well, is this a good time to buy? And every real estate person, regardless of the market, will go, it's a good time. It's a good time to buy. But you're really confident that this is a really good time to buy. And what gives you that confidence?
Once again, it's the market definitely helps. Our specific market, the Research Triangle Park, and just the amount of people flocking to this market, to this area. I just see things staying, we're not going to see the appreciation that we saw over the past several years. Right. But we're not going to lose either.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you talked about that you have some programs. Let me back up before I get into your programs, because we've got, it's been a little bit difficult for first-time home buyers.
Yes.
Because sometimes some of it's inventory. Some of it is, as the interest rates, qualifications, that type of thing. Is there hope for a first time buyer? I mean, do you have hope? Can you give a first time buyer hope?
Yes, I mean, without a doubt. We have the institution I work for has a balance sheet to help us provide paths to homeownership for first time homebuyers. Speaking of which, do you want me to just kind of flow right into that?
That was beautiful. I was like, oh, you're going to segue right into this, aren't you? Yeah. So what's the name of the program?
So it's called the PATH program.
Okay.
So possibilities achieved through homeownership,
Okay.
which is a 30-year fixed mortgage. Okay. 30-year
Okay.
fixed. No mortgage insurance.
Okay.
Okay. Remember, no mortgage
No
insurance.
mortgage insurance. Okay. That's
All
huge.
right. And the rates are about a full % lower than what the conforming 30-year fix is running at right now.
Really?
With 20% down. So this is 100%. Did I mention no mortgage insurance?
Yeah, you did mention
okay, no mortgage insurance with about a 6% rate versus rates being at 7% right now.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And is there some qualifications that you have to meet?
Of course, every program has its nuances and niches and things of that nature. So there are definitely qualification guidelines and regulations that we have to abide by. But if that doesn't work, guess what?
Oh, don't tell me. You've got another program.
We have number 2.
Okay, what's the second program?
The second one is what we call our Core 100. Okay. That's once again 100% financing.
All right.
There is mortgage insurance on that, and it is not a 30-year fix. So wah from that standpoint.
Right.
But it is a 10-year ARM, fixed for 10 years, amortized over 30. Okay. And rate on that is right around 6.5%. So still, once again, lower than a 30-year conventional loan with 20% down.
Okay. So you brought up the word ARM.
Yes.
Right?
Scary
word.
Scary.
It scares people when
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
When they hear ARM. And we've had other lenders on the show before who've said, really the difference between ARM and a fixed is not all that great. But you're saying you've got a program here that's
correct. And, I'm not going to get into the weeds of,
right,
inverted yield curves and things of that nature.
Please don't.
I want to keep everybody awake.
Great.
And as well as you, because you're going to help me out right now, flow through this. But once again, the institution I work for has a very nice balance sheet where we don't have to sell these mortgages. We keep them on our portfolio, and we're able to provide that service and those rates on those ARMs. Whereas Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, conventional type rates, conforming type rates on the ARMs just don't exist right now. It's not a saleable product.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that ARMs have been something in the past that can be an advantage for folks.
Yep.
The other thing that I think you mentioned is that, and another mortgage lenders have mentioned this too, is that when it comes to buying, you can always refinance when the rates go down, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. And we live, North Carolina is so inexpensive compared to a lot of the other states, specifically the Southeast. Florida and things of that nature, where they're title company states, states where fees are just astronomical. You have your tax stamp, deed stamps, things of that nature, where it's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's extremely affordable to refinance here.
Okay. I know we didn't talk about this, but you just brought it up. So we are a non-title state.
Yes.
I help people understand who are from other states that are coming in here that are maybe title states. What does that really mean? Because you gave us a little bit.
So I'm not an expert on this,
right.
But my take on it is, attorneys here cannot make money on title insurance. That's the long and short of it. So that's why the fees are lower in North Carolina, is because they cannot put that premium on top of the title insurance.
Got it. So that's useful to know, because we have, my understanding is, last numbers I had was about 60 to 90 people are moving here in a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And what I'm saying.
Right. And then if they're coming in from a state that has title insurance, that has to have titles, you're already saving money by coming to
huge. Yeah. Thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Without doubt.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Okay. So let's talk about the selling side. Should I sell or should I not sell? I know that's not really what you do a lot of, but I mean, what would you say to somebody who's going, should I sell? I mean, because I'm sure you run into people who are wanting to get probably going to need a mortgage.
Mhm.
They got a house to sell.
Yep.
And they're going, okay, I think I should do it, but I'm not sure. They come into your office and they go, I don't know if we should sell. What do you think?
It's tough to give up that 3% rate, right? I
Right.
mean, and it's a whole new ball game when you're looking at what rates are now.
Right.
That's where the arms come in handy sometimes, a short-term arm, and really not that short because it's 7 or 10 years fixed. So it's quite a long time. But they've got so much equity built up into that house as well that they don't have access to unless they either cash out, refinance, get an equity line, or sell.
Mm,
So if you're on the fence, why not? I mean,
mhm,
why not take advantage of the equity that you have right now? That's not a guarantee in the future, and put it towards that next home purchase.
Okay. Now you had an interesting thought here when we
Uh-oh.
before the show. You had an interesting thought here. What is your thoughts on where we're at in terms of are we in a recession? Are we going to are or if we're not, are we going to go into a recession? What is your thoughts on that going forward?
So, my unofficial
Okay.
thought is we're on the border of a recession.
Okay.
Within the next 6 months to a year, typically, or
Okay.
not typically, but realistically. And it's not a bad thing. The R word is not, it's not doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. Don't listen to everything everybody
Right.
says, that the sky is falling. Um, you know, on a positive standpoint, mortgage rates typically go down in a recession.
Mhm.
So you buyers or you people on the fence that are trying to figure out, should I buy now? Should I buy now? Should I buy now? Yes. And then look, we can refinance you 6 months to 18 months from now when rates fall back down to let's say the 4% range,
Mhm.
and get that payment down. This is look at it as a temporary loan, to
Mm,
get your foot in the door.
mm. So in so in a weird kind of a sense,
Yep.
it's kind of it is kind of like going, okay, yeah, you may be paying a little bit more front, but we've got this. It's kind of a reverse arm almost. It's kind of,
Yeah, yeah, I guess you can put it that way.
right.
Yeah,
It's
yep,
kind of
yep,
like a
yep.
reverse arm,
Yeah,
right?
without a doubt.
Right. It's like, okay, I bought a little high, but I'm going to be able to really
Yeah,
drop this thing down.
without a doubt.
Why do you think um, the interest rates will drop? I mean, is that typical of a recession or
Typical of a recession, just historically, that's what we've seen.
okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this. Go back to the market here a little bit because people are getting very squeamish about this market because they're just so confused. If you could give them a little clarity about what we're in, can you help people get a little clarity about our market and get them either give them a little confidence in the market? Do you have some thoughts there?
Um, so are we talking about the buy sell standpoint or
Yeah,
rates or
all of the
all
above.
the above?
Yeah,
What I would say, new construction, great time to buy. Builders aren't slashing prices or anything like
right.
that because we want to keep prices stable where they're at right now. What we are seeing is a ton of upgrades at no cost, all the premium stuff. Um, $10,000 a lot of times and to use towards closing cost or rate buy downs, whether that's permanent or temporary. Um, so that's good. Existing home sales, inventory is still an issue. We're still seeing that. Like we were just talking about, people, should I sell? Should I not sell?
Mhm.
Well, just going to stay with my 3% rate right now because I don't want to get rid of that. So that continues to be an issue. So, um, you know, until that gets fixed, prices can only go down or stay at a certain level, right? They can't go down really much further.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about the other parts of the market,
Mhm.
just in general, like in terms of people going, okay, how do I, how should I look at this market in general across the board? What do you tell them when you say, okay, we're not in a recession, maybe we're on the
Mhm.
edge of it.
Yep.
What do you do to tell them to kind of give them a little bit of stability to go, all right, this is how you need to think about the market in terms of, where you're at right now.
We don't live on the West Coast, fortunately. from that standpoint. Prices are already falling there. People are moving away in droves, Northeast as well. We just live in a place where people want to be.
Mm,
And once again, supply and demand. It's
right.
that inventory issue. And as long as we have that issue and people are continue to come, prices are going to stay the same or go up from my standpoint.
What are you really excited about right now in your industry that really says, man, I'm kind of really excited about what's going on right now? Um, I mean, with all the doom and gloom, what excites you a little bit?
What excites me is being able to get out like this again, right?
Right.
We've been so busy with people moving here with purchases, refinances have been crazy, just working 24/7, behind our desk, right? We weren't having to go out and really getting back to the basics, right? That's what is exciting me now is getting back to the basics and getting back out and being social, hanging out with, good
Right.
people like you and
Right.
Linda and everybody else. Um, I think there will be a certain pullback in terms of people getting out of the industry as well that just can't survive anymore, which is unfortunate. But that's why it's so important to work with a seasoned professional
Mm.
real estate agent, lender, things of that nature that have been through this before, know how to handle it, look for the right things, like Linda and her team.
Yeah. Well, and what about you? And you, I mean, because you have a pretty good sized team too, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
You have, how many people do you have?
We have 10 loan officers here
Oh,
locally.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking again, I'm just thinking through this whole market situation, and I'm thinking through the people who are watching the show, and they're kind of going, I'm not sure what I should be doing here, and I want to. Um, what is something that you feel is probably the greatest challenge right now in this market?
The greatest challenge in this market, I mean, still affordability. Affordability is still an issue, but that spans not just residential real estate, but rentals and things of that nature. It's not quite as bad as some of the bigger cities,
Right.
but we do have a certain affordability issue.
Okay. Well, and you feel that that's a big challenge because we're still, I mean, because we are seeing some concessions,
We are seeing some concessions. That is
and we
true.
are seeing a little increase in inventory.
That is
Not
true.
not a huge,
Not huge.
but I mean, we are seeing a little bit. But
Yeah.
you're still
It's still lagging a little bit. It's still
okay.
lagging a little bit. Yeah.
Do you work with any investment? Do you do any investment properties?
Properties. Mhm.
You do.
Yeah.
Are there programs for people who want to invest that right now that are out there that are pretty good or pretty decent right now?
I have the standard investment properties. I've worked with certain investors, for years and years and years.
Mhm.
There are other lenders that have more specialty type programs where you don't have to, show your pay stubs and W-2s and things of that nature.
Right.
Not quite as crazy as,
Right.
back in the 2000, early 2000s, but yeah, definitely. I work with investors and, provide good service to them.
Well, I guess the question is, all right, so let me ask you this. Should I, again, back to, should I stay or should I go?
Yeah.
Is this a good time to invest in a property?
Why
Do-
not? Why not? I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Well, I would be because are the rates a little higher? And
Yes, rates are going to be higher, but once again, that it's short term, right? Or at least we think it's short term, right? I can't guarantee anything. I don't have a crystal ball.
right.
And, I hate the slogan, but I'm going to say the slogan not necessarily for investors because they're not going to marry the house, but marry the house, date the rate, right? I mean, that's
Whoa, marry the house, date the rate. I've never heard that ever.
shut up.
No, I've never heard it.
It's like the biggest buzz. Like
Really?
every
Marry the house, date the rate.
Yes.
Oh, write that down, ladies and gentlemen. Marry the house, date the rate. I love that. It's the first time I've ever heard it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was,
See, aren't you glad you invited me today?
I am so glad. Just for that alone, marry the house, date the rate. That's fantastic. So, are you seeing investors still in the market?
They've slowed down, but they are still there. They are still there. What we are seeing is, if you want to look at investor pools, the open doors, the things of that nature, they're definitely fleeing at this point just because they got in over way
Right.
too deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you are still seeing,
Without doubt, yes.
Yeah.
Still seeing investors gobbling up stuff.
So again, I guess in light of our song, should I stay or should I go? It's like go.
Just go.
Just go
Yeah.
and do that. All right. So then let's talk about some other things that are going on in your industry that you are dealing with. Is there something in your industry right now that you go, okay, this is where you may want to temper your excitement?
Well, I'd like to see rates back down at 3%, right? You
Right,
know,
right.
that's always a challenge, re-educating, potential buyers on what rates are actually at right
Right.
now. Because all they remember is rates at 3%,
Right.
maybe 4%. That, when we got in the 4%, that was crazy,
Right.
But yeah, just educating or re-educating,
Well, let's talk about that.
depending on that.
But let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The re-education process or the education process.
Yeah.
How do we go? I mean, how do we go about doing that? Because we have a tendency to hold on to that thing that we had, right? It's what we call in my industry the prevention mindset, right? I don't want to lose what I've got.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
How do we go about re-educating the public in terms of, okay, I get it. You had 3%, but this is still good.
Yeah.
How do we re-educate that? What's the re-education process for you guys? I mean, especially.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're looking at it from a seller perspective, right, it's re-educating that, your house is still worth a good bit of money, right? It's appreciated tremendously. It may not be worth what you thought it was worth a year ago when Zillow was telling you, X, but you have this gobs of equity. You can use that to put towards a new property. And even though it may be a higher interest rate, still come in with a lower payment because of the equity position that you're in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from the buyers, how do you re-educate a buyer who's kind of worried about, I think I'm just going to wait, Doug, because, I'm going to wait that year and a half. How do you re-educate them now?
Guess what? People are not going to stop moving here. And remember that whole supply and demand thing?
Right. Yeah. I do.
Yeah. Prices, I don't think are going to go down. They will continue to trickle up.
Right. Maybe not at the rate that
not the rate, the crazy rates that we've seen.
Gosh.
I mean, it's just been insane, but yes, and we can't control interest rates either. Right. I mean, rates are going to go up, rates are going to come down. Could they go up some more? Possibly they could go up some more. So why not lock into something right now that you can afford, of course, right? I'm not going to push anybody. We very rigorous in qualifying people. Find something, people are paying what, $2,000 a month on average, I think, around here in rent. Is that about?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
About the going rate right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, how do we educate somebody who's paying $2,000 a month in rent, right?
Yep.
And they're going, I'd rather spend my $2,000 a month because I'm not going to get much of a house.
Yeah.
How do you get them to move off that X?
That's tough. That's tough. And that, it's a lifestyle thing. Some of them just want to be close in. Some of them just want somewhere to call home. I mean, you may have to broaden your search, I guess, and change that mindset. And I don't know the best way to do that. You're the psychology guy, right? I mean,
well, I guess, what I'm thinking is that you I know you see a lot of people that sit in the seat across from your desk and say, convince me, that I should stop paying rent and buy something.
Yeah.
And what do you say?
Well, do you like paying somebody else's mortgage? I mean, essentially, right? When you're renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. Guess what? That goes towards principal. Guess what? That's equity that they have in their property. Yeah.
So you're paying for somebody else's equity.
Yeah.
You're actually
you're making them richer. I mean, essentially, right?
Now that's re-education.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really re-education right there. Right. Because we don't typically think about when we're paying rent that what we're doing is we're making that person actually richer. And in the process, we've got nothing except a place to live.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's nothing else
there's nothing there. That savings account could be at zero, checking account at zero.
Whereas if you've invested in something, because the rates the equity in the house here in the triangle
Even if it doesn't appreciate, Jay, let's say it stays exactly the same.
Okay.
You're paying down that loan. Therefore, you still have that equity position, which could, change your, generational, right?
Right.
Your kids, grandkids, things of that nature that you can utilize that to just, leapfrog into a better life.
See, that's re-education right there.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're not, I think I don't think we think the long-term game enough in terms of, year after year, I'm actually paying down principal. I'm actually getting equity just by paying it down.
Yeah.
I actually have something here.
Yep. I may not be able to touch it unless I sell it. Right.
Right.
But it's there.
Right.
It's there. Right.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
See, there's the re-education process, right? I mean, because I think it's hard for somebody in the rental position because, everybody has got this dream of going, oh, I want the big house and everything, but maybe that's not the point. It's that, what, you're going to get equity.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah. And then you can take that to the next house, right? And then just keep going up, second time, third time, whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to start investing.
Or maybe take the first house that was a smaller house.
Yeah.
Use that as an investment.
Use that as investment. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I can't do path if I've got that one.
You can't do path, but you can do the core 100.
But I can do the core 100.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So our time is almost done, believe it or not.
Already? Jeez Louise.
I know. I told you it was going to be really fast, right? So tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Best way to get a hold of me is cell phone, 919-656-0822, or my website, applywithdoug.com, APPLY with Doug.com.
Applywithdoug.com. And what was the phone number one more time?
919-656-0822.
You've been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I know that this was not.
You make it easy, Jay.
I knew this. I know this was not in your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's definitely outside.
But you were actually really great. I mean, I would love to have you come back again, and as the market changes and as new things happen, I'd love to bring you on the show again.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah,
appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you know what, folks? That is real estate right now, and you know what? We are so glad that you joined us. And you know what? Listen, you got a nugget. What was it again? Date the rate.
Marry the house.
Marry the house.
Date the rate.
Marry the house. Date the rate. Wow, that was new to me. Okay. Maybe it's new to you too. You know what? This is the show, Real Estate Right Now, where we talk about real estate matters that matter to you. You know what? I know you had a lot of choices. You chose us, and I cannot thank you enough. So I say to you everywhere, all over the world who watch the show and are listening by podcast, you know what? Ciao, everybody.